guys? So I'm sitting here. So guess what? I got these tags, right? And I gotta get plates, and they send that to you on your birthday. And I was hanging out with my family, and then my brother was like, how old are you? I'm like, I don't know, 40, 43 maybe, 44. And then he was like, I'm this and this, and aren't you? When were you born? I was like, 81. He's like, dude, you're gonna be 45. And I'm like, dude, I am gonna be 45. I'm gonna be 45. Dude, you gotta own it, okay? I'm like, do I look good for 45? Do I still look good for 45? I feel like there's so many things that I've had to deal with that it's just like, holy crap, dude. But you know what? I keep overcoming in all of those things, and everywhere I look around, it just keeps getting better and better, and it's just like, I'm almost there. I'm seriously almost there. Today was really hard, and I think the harder that the Father is making things for me right now, the more it's like, I feel like I'm gonna faint, but I don't faint, but I overcome, and then I'm like, there was a song I heard the other day, and it was just like, you know, it's like the fire. It was talking like, the fire didn't consume me, the fire showed me who I was. And it's like, you don't even really know who you are until you go through it. And then on the other side, you realize, and you're just like, so I don't know. I'm gonna find my wife though. And we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna take this RV, and we're gonna go around, and we're gonna see stuff, and we're gonna paddle, and we're gonna hike, and we're gonna climb some mountains, and we're gonna via ferrata, and we're gonna mountain bike, and we're gonna, yeah, we're gonna have some good sucks.
I spent years becoming someone I was never meant to be. Feel free. Feel free. Every match they gave me, every smile that wasn't mine, kept saying I was alright, while disappearing over time. I learned how to make them love me. I forgot how to love myself. Built a life around their voices, left my own voice on the shelf. Somewhere in the silence, I heard a stranger call my name. I broke myself trying to be enough. Feel free, feel free. I lost myself becoming someone else. Feel free, feel free. The fire didn't burn me. The fire showed me who I am. Feel free, feel free. I remember staring at the ceiling, asking why I felt so small, giving pieces of myself away, just to keep from losing all. Every version that I created, just to make somebody stay, became another empty shadow that I had to walk away from. Somewhere in the silence, I heard my real voice call my name. I broke myself trying to be enough. Feel free, feel free. I lost myself becoming someone else. Feel free, feel free. The fire didn't burn me. The fire showed me who I am. Feel free, feel free.
Alright guys, so before I get into it and get working, before my back seizes up, I did want to show you some stuff. So we got a mirror for the RV from my grandma's for free. We've got all these dishes for the RV for free. They even had a copper pot. You ever seen a copper pot? Isn't that cool? Get your daily amount of copper out of your... That's important. We got a whole bunch of other stuff in there, but actually what's really cool is they had this whiteboard, and I was like, ooh. And I looked on the back really quick, and guess what? This one has metal on the back, and all of them normally have like cardboard, and the cardboard gets wet, and then this front part gets all wavy and ruined. So this one doesn't. So if I put silicone around this and silicone this thing in the whole way around, front and back, this will be an actual perfect thing to put on the back of the RV. And even the crappy ones are like 45 bucks. So this is a really good deal for free. So we got a bunch of free stuff for the RV. Which is cool. We also got these shelving units. They had these shelving units, and they're like, we don't need these. They take apart. So I was able to take them all apart, and I threw them in the back. So they're really dirty. So I'm gonna hook up the sprayer, and I've got a brush, and we'll just get rid of the everything. But I have a garage that has never been dealt with. So now I'll actually, I just put a 5-gallon bucket here, and guess what? The 5-gallon bucket fits on this one. So I can put all my buckets on there, and I have like a bucket for each job, like a bucket for solar, a bucket for water. You know, now I can have all that stuff on one little thing. And it's really hard when you've got like a hoop house, because everything is, you know what I mean? So it's really hard to build shelves. So I had to build shelves. I threw that stereo stuff up there, and that was a stereo I bought when I was a little kid. I found money digging in an old farmhouse. I found money that they hid in a jar, and I sent it to the government, and they dissected it and sent me a check, and it was enough to buy my first car, and I bought a stereo with it, and that was my stereo receiver from when I was a little kid. So I've never even hooked all this stuff up. I just use Makita, that Makita little thing, and I can carry it around everywhere. But anyhow, I've got a bunch of work to do, and I got, these things are filled with honey and different stuff, and I've got to take these apart and press this honey, and I just got all these, like all these buckets. Now all these buckets can have a home, and I can put stuff up on a shelf, and there's not going to be buckets. I'm like, dude, this is really cool. And then I have this area over here, floods, and I went up and I siliconed everything, and then I realized that nothing was actually coming down from the stove. I have a fire burning like wood cook stove. So cool. I was trying to set this whole place up down here, because this Quonset hut thing, you can get winds up to I think 155 miles an hour. And then I got garage doors for here that are double reinforced with backing, so they can withstand like 90 miles an hour. So if my whole freaking, basically if my whole house on the top of the hill went to shit with everything Team Satan's doing, I would have a backup place to live, that I can cook on wood and everything else, if you get what I'm saying. That's all blue, so it's not going to get nuked off the map. So I have actually spent a lot of time thinking about this, but one of the problems I have in here is ventilation. And I just found out you can get a solar powered, it's a solar powered exhaust fan. And it works off of like, basically like your boot, the same kind of boot that you would use for a stovepipe. And you actually put an 8-inch stovepipe through the roof. And then this mounts onto that stovepipe thing, but it's set up on to work off of 120 volt, uses 20 watts, and it's got a thermostat, so when it gets hot it automatically kicks on and will keep the humidity down in here, because everything down here likes to rust. And this has been a problem. And then so we just got a geoengineered storm that dumped, I mean, dude, it was like a land hurricane up here. And what I found is that it's not leaking from here. It's actually, see those ribs in the metal there? The water was coming up and flooding in. I'm like, how the hell does that happen? And then I realized that on the outside I put down ground cloth and plastic and then put the gravel on it. So now I've got to go out there and redesign everything, because we're getting 1,000-year floods like consistently, and I've got to redesign that whole thing out there, which means I got to move my beehives. I got to rip up the. I'm like, dude, it's a big freaking ass job to fix that. But when I get it fixed, I won't have this anymore in my garage. So, and then we got all these things from my grandma. So you know how these old stock pots that are actually like good? This one's got a strainer. So if you wanted to, like, say you wanted to blanch corn, or if you wanted to blanch veggies, you put that, just dip it, blanch it for 30 seconds and pull it up. I don't actually do that, but I got a pan, I can do it now. So I got all these stock pans for free. You know, all the stuff that was actually worth something, that was cool, I was able to get, because nobody saw the value in it. They all wanted like pictures and things that really didn't matter. It's like, I don't know. So spend time with your grandparents and why they're living, and, you know, honor them if they love the Lord, and I don't know, don't spend the rest of your life looking at photos. So anyhow, I've got to rip out somewhere in here. There's a jack. I need to find the jack, and then we got to go. Guys, this truck heated up. It heated up the freaking wheel. This alloy wheel was hot to the, like, it would burn your hand to touch it. I'm like, so we got to yank that off. We got to jack this up. We got to yank that off. And then I was able to find rotor, or what do you call it? Calibers. The whole unit. I was able to find the whole unit for AutoZone wanted $94 each, so that had been $400. I found it on Amazon for $131 for a 2-pack, and then I discounted to $118, and then I found one that was used like new that was returned for $80, $79. So for $200 plus $10 can of spray paint, and it's going to be a you know what, because I got to get the bolts off of the ones here, and I know every single one of those is seized. So I'm going to have to spray torch the shit out of it, and it's going to be a real pain in the ass, but I'm pretty sure I can save the brake lines and everything. So anyhow, I got a big job that I need to do on the truck, and why I do that, I've got an entire box of of other things that I need to do on the truck. This is the AC line that needs replaced. So, and then I can recharge the AC unit. And these are like all my tie rod ends and all the stuff. This is a whole kit for the whole front of that truck. Everything, that mechanic, when he went under the truck, he's like, dude, your tie rods are shot. Like, and I'm like, is there anything else wrong with this truck? Just look, take a quick look around. Is there anything else that's wrong? And the guy was like, no, but your tie rods are shot. So here's like a tie rod kit and everything that's linked. Any kind of like a bar that clips to something else that works when you steer, there's a box of everything there. And because the truck's 20 something years old, it was only $90 something for the whole freaking thing. So I got this to do, and then this is the seal kit for my motorcycle. So if I rip the carburetor, rip everything off the front and get my carburetor out, here's a seal kit to do all 4 carburetors on the motorcycle. That only costs like, I think, $10 or something. But the amount of effort that it's going to take me to install this and get everything back running is going to be like a freaking 2 or 3 day job. Nightmare. So there's a couple days, there's a couple days, there's a couple days. We got to fix the brakes, so there's a couple more days. You see where I'm going? I'm like, dude, I'm going to be as old as Abraham before I find my wife. I'm like, dude, I got to get out of here if I go find my wife. All right, guys, so I'm trying to have a good attitude today. We got a lot of work to do. I'm going to try to see what I can do with my back feeling like it does. We have this fake gold stuff. Isn't that cool? All right. Hang in there, guys. So, here's what we're doing on the RV. These are the last little bits of things. Here's a little bit of touch-up paint. So I gotta go hit these little dings, and there's a bunch on the other side. This is a little latch, and we're gonna latch this latch to this thing. And we're gonna try to latch this door back to something. I don't know how that works. And then we're gonna use this baggage door catch on the other side if it looks to be cool. So 2 little things. And then it looks like we're gonna have to build. So I started putting things away in here. So this is like basically all of my bathroom stuff that can fit in this thing. But I'm gonna need to drill some holes and then put some fender washers with screws into the studs. But that way it'll hold all of my, insect repellent, the things that I found that I actually need in here. We're gonna be putting a lot more Icy Hot in here. And then for shelving, I think even in here, it would be good for me to put a middle shelf and then because I'm wasting half of that space right there. So we're gonna figure out how this works, but I was able to find bowls, plates, silverware, knives. Like, I got enough stuff in here. I need to get some towels for in here. I'm gonna leave those curved things, because guess what? It's a perfect towel holder, because that's where I want my towel. So I'm just gonna leave them. I'm filling out the drawers a little bit with different stuff. We got a twin, like a waterproof, or what is this thing? This is a full size. We got a mattress topper thing that I need to put on this so that it won't get wet or gross. And then there's one fitted sheet. That's all I bought, because I don't like all the rest of the sheets. And then slowly I got this fan. I said I needed a fan. I forgot. I had a Makita fan, and I've never used this thing. And I'm like, dude, it's got a big enough base. We're just gonna set it on the end of the bed It even has a movement like that. So I'm like, yeah, dude. We're just gonna leave Makita. We're just gonna use this as my fan instead of that big ass thing. We're gonna hang that mirror on this door. We're gonna take this door off. We're gonna trim it. Oh, back. What else? We're gonna figure out what our storage area is gonna look like, because I just found out that that storage tote will fit in there. So I might put things in storage totes and slide them in there. That way it keeps things organized. So maybe I have to go to the store and buy ones that fit in here better, that will fit in. So we'll figure that out. I got done complaining about the truck and everything. You know, the people that gave me the truck, if they watch this video, they're gonna probably, I didn't realize, wasn't thinking about how that would make them feel. So I'm sorry guys if you watch that video. I wouldn't have a truck and wouldn't be driving anywhere if you didn't give me a truck. So, you know, I just shut up and fix the stuff that's wrong with it and keep driving. So I cleaned it. I had this, my mom gave me this brush when I visited her. So this is the first time I was able to use it. And these little, I bought these things to clean your motorcycle chain and different things. And dude, that thing fits perfectly in between all of your little things on your wheels. And then if you go like that, you can get the whole inside so that your alloy wheels actually look nice. And you don't have to spend any time doing it. Like, so I cleaned the truck, I fixed the tailgate, and then I just jacked it up. So if I try to move those lug nuts right now, I think my back is gonna cave in half. So I'm gonna go try to find, I don't have a Makita, like, I don't know what they're calling for. Do they call it an impact for? I don't know what they call it. The one that does like for nut drivers and bolts for cars. I don't have one of those. So probably with me fixing everything, I should probably buy one eventually, but I don't have one right now. So I need to get one, but we're gonna take that off. We're gonna jack this thing up. We're gonna look about installing that air conditioning condenser cable, fixing these brakes. I think we're just gonna do new rotor calipers on every single one of them. And that way I don't have any problems with any of the brakes. Like nothing will seize up in the future and I don't have to worry about it. And that's a $200 fix. So why not? And then be done. So I think when I told my mom about coming back and what a pain in the ass it was, basically, I didn't say it was a pain in the ass coming to help you, but she was basically like, let me know what you need for the truck parts. I'm like, okay. So I think we're gonna get that fixed. And then while I'm down there, I've got an entire box of tie rods and all this stuff. So we're just gonna jack it up and I'm just gonna get all that stuff done. So it'll be done. And then I'm gonna do my emergency tote box and we're gonna put this back in the truck so that I have all my stuff that I need so that I can cook and have food and water and I always, guys, I always have things like a hammer, freaking chainsaw, some fire extinguisher in case the truck ever gets on fire like it almost did yesterday, a little bit of extra oil, gas, wedges. Do you know how easy it is to be out and have a storm knock something over? Like, do you have a chainsaw? You can just chainsaw the damn thing and like move it out of the road. Dude, if you're back in the country like where we're at, like, you know what it's like to have to try to go around a block? Like, that road might be your only real road to get in. You got a winch? You got a battery that will run a real winch? Do you know how to winch something? Like, can you cut something and then hook your winch to it, pull it the hell out of the road? Do you've got like, you know what I mean? I've done a lot of work on this truck to get it where it is right now, and maybe once I get everything else done, we can make it look better, but you know, you have a bug out machine, you know what I mean? This thing's gonna be a nice bug out machine. See, I gotta fix these. These were from the solar panels that I leaned on here while I was working on it, and then they sat there for a few days while I was going inside, and then they just moved. And then I came out here and those were there, and I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So hopefully we're gonna touch up, paint that, fix it. I got all that stuff that needs to find a home. I need to get, those are the ones off of my old RV, so they don't fit those tires, so I need bigger ones. And look, we've got shelving units, guys, and they fit my buckets. Dude, my whole garage is like, you wouldn't believe. I've just gone through this one little area cleaning stuff up, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have my freaking whole, I'm gonna have so much room in here once this is all done. It's just all buckets everywhere. We can put all the bucket, you know what I mean? Buckets, buckets. I don't have any shelves. I don't have time. I guess I could have just built some, but don't have time for shelves. So we're gonna get all this done. We're gonna get rid of all this bee stuff because I already decided what I want to do with bees, so we can finally get rid of this stuff. Then I can have room in here. I got a lot of work to do. That's supposed to be my workbench. So yeah, anyhow, it's coming together, praise God. All right, so Mike Adams is going to talk about the bioweapon again, but he's not going to use those words, but just listen, I want to talk about it.
And in fact, I think this particular topic about AI-generated so-called viruses, this is in that category. Now, we also have to clarify, what is a virus? You know, how much do we accept from modern virology, etc.? Look, I don't believe much of anything about modern virology. And even though I used to, but since COVID, I've learned that there's never been a virus isolated, you know, like an influenza virus, as it's called. It's never been isolated from a person who's said to be infected or sick with influenza and then introduced into the body of a healthy person where it replicated into, you know, a confirmed homogeneous protein morphology that reproduced the same sickness symptoms that were spotted in the first person. So this idea of the transmission of disease via viruses is a hoax. That doesn't exist.
Okay, so basically the whole thing stems from he tried to order a sample for his lab, and they just sent him an infection, like somebody had sneezed, and they sent them something from them, and he was like, well, where's just the isolated version? And since he couldn't get that, his conclusion is that it doesn't exist. Like, are you okay, so obviously that's not true. That's a wrong conclusion. That is you assume the world is good and that people are good and that everything works for the good, and you come from a team humanity standpoint, so you just can't believe that everything is evil and that all the people are evil and that that's a big club of Team Satan. So you don't come from the right, like, because you have a business and you think you trust all the other samples that you pay a lot of money for and that come there, but those aren't a bioweapon that Team Satan has been creating for forever. And do you think that they're actually going to give it to you as a sample so that you can, you know what I mean? They're never going to give it to you. They don't even want people to know it exists. You know what I mean? So the best you're going to get is something like that. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Like, no, it does exist. They've been using everything to exponentially, like, make it worse and That was the whole gain of function thing that they were doing out of Wuhan. You know what I mean? Or the other, whatever the other bio labs, wherever the hell all of them are at outside of the United States. Like we found out when they were like attacking Russia and doing all this stuff over there that they had a whole bunch in Ukraine. So wherever they have to, you know, we know about Zika, so you know that they have it in Africa, and that's where they created Zika, you know, and then blamed it on the mosquitoes, and then everyone had malaria and everything else, which is basically the same. It's just a different version of the same thing. So the whole virus, the whole point of it is that's where AIDS comes from. AIDS is when the bioweapon takes hold and your body starts to create things that fight against itself, and it starts to kill. You're killing your own cells. So now they call it autoimmune when it should be called auto death. But Team Satan uses the reverse. Whatever it actually is, they use the opposite wording so that it's confusing to everyone. So when they call it like Google, don't be evil, that means be evil. When they call it the Patriot Act, that means it goes against the Patriots. That's how everything works. So if you don't understand Team Satan doublespeak, then you probably don't understand anything. But yeah, there is now he's going to go on to talk about how they're using AI to create 16 new strains or something like that of the bioweapon, and now they're going to do all of these other things with it. But he doesn't even think a virus exists, and he's going to go off on that kind of whole tangent when, like, no, they're weaponizing it. They're taking it to a whole new level. It's going to roll out again every year. They're going to sneak it into every kind of shot, even the shots that you should never have taken any of the other shots, but they're going to sneak them into them too, and they're going to kill you. God's given Team Satan power over a fourth to kill. Okay? And they're going to kill a lot of people. So don't be one. All right. Praise God.